What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of Palm City Chucks NFL Edition. Before we get started, disclaimer, I had bowling tonight. I play in a bowling league. I'm a bit drunk, so bear with me as we go through this episode. I'm just gonna be upfront about it. Might as well at this point, right? It's gonna be fun for me. I hope it's fun for you. But that's a disclaimer I felt like you needed. I might be a little more potty mouth than normal, so close your ears, kids. That's all I'm going to say. All right. So let's get right into it with the week 9 recap. The Thursday night game. Ravens traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. This game ends 28-6 in favor of the Ravens. And I mean, can you really be surprised? Lamar is back. And Lamar was back in full force. The guy barely ran, but he threw for 4 touchdowns. Mark Andrews, a major beneficiary of Lamar's return. 2
Yes.
tutties for him. Charlie Kohler, a touchdown. 3 tight end touchdowns on the night. Crazy work. Ravens are looking up, and the Dolphins continue to struggle. But McDaniel keeps his job for right now, so that's good,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I always appreciate that. I mean, he's likely done, but I love letting the coach play out the season. I'm not a fan of cutting ties midway. I say that, but boy, am I happy about Brian Kelly and LSU. But
And boy, am I happy about James Franklin. So
yeah,
I
right,
get.
right. But maybe it's a college NFL thing. I don't know, but I do like letting them see it through. Because weird things happen in the NFL too. Like with how little games there are in the NFL compared to other sports, you can still have like hot and cold streaks. So, um, not to say he's going to save his job. I think it's cooked, but you never know.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I think I said this in one of our, maybe it was the coach ranking episode in the offseason, but I felt like I learned all I needed to about McDaniel when Tua went out last year and the team completely crumbled. It felt like he had no plan besides Tua. And now Tua is struggling week in, week out. He's got the occasional bright spot game. I think he's got like 2 this year out of 9 at this point that he's looked good, maybe 3, just going off memory here. And without that, McDaniel's got nothing working for the Dolphins at all. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
So
nothing.
I agree with you. I think he's done at the end of this year, but I mean, why make a change right now? Might as well let the coach who's bringing you down stay, lead you to a better draft pick in the offseason, and
Yeah,
maybe reset at the
yeah,
quarterback spot, you know?
that's true. I mean, the new coach who takes over is only going to be grateful for that. So let him
Yeah,
rot, let him burn.
exactly. Exactly. But these Ravens, man, they're going to be a problem in this AFC North coming down the stretch. I think we've
They
talked
are.
about it a little bit, that the defense is getting healthy again. I mean, you can see these past 2 weeks, Roquan Smith back and, among others, and they're looking a lot better because they were a terrible, terrible defensive unit while all those guys are out. But these past 2 weeks, they've looked so much better. And now that they got Lamar back, I seriously wouldn't bat an eye if they finish atop of this AFC North come the end of the season.
Yeah. I mean, we saw the Steelers along the way here through all the injuries the Ravens have had. They're leaving the door open. I mean, they're doing okay. They're getting wins still. Had an impressive win this week, which we'll talk about. But yeah, the door is still open. The Ravens have to be very, very good, but they are very, very good when they're healthy. And like you said, they're getting healthy. So yeah, it's definitely gonna get scary for the Steelers. And even so, I mean, there's play for a wild card push here too. That's definitely not out of the question either. But yeah, there's a lot of AFC North matchups to be had, and I think that's where the Ravens really got to make their move.
No, yeah, I agree. But let's move on to what I thought was the most exciting game of the week, maybe the most exciting game of the year so far. And that includes the Broncos' insane comeback in the fourth quarter, because this was just a banger for the entire game. The Bears traveling to
Right.
Cincinnati to take on the Bengals finishes 47-42. And my goodness, I mean, what a game. It looked like the Bears had this absolutely squared away. Bengals fire back, take the lead in the fourth
Onside
quarter.
kick finally worked.
I know. Onside kick finally worked. I couldn't believe it. But you know what? It didn't matter. It didn't matter because the Bears, with like a minute left, drive down, take the lead to the end of the game, and win this. I mean, I don't love what Chase Brown did. I don't know if you saw this. I don't love what Chase Brown did in the locker room post game. But he was
No, I
just
did not
like
see this.
he basically said, "Finish the game." I mean, he put his defense on blast, and that's one of those things where it's like, dude, I hear you. Like, you're not wrong, but you
But shut up.
cannot say that. You
Right.
can't
And it
say that. It's only going to make things worse. You can't say
right.
that.
It's nothing like everyone knows this. Like it's on the defense. It is week in, week out. Flacco's been doing great for this team. I this could be coming out of my ass. I know if it's not the most, it's close to it. But these past two games for the Bengals, I'm pretty sure it's the most points scored to be 0-2 between those two games. And yeah, that demoralizes a team, but you got to shut the hell up about it. Like, you gotta piece this together and play again in 7 days. Like, what are you doing?
No, 100%. 100%. And one other thing I want to ask you is, like, we talked about this at the beginning of the year, because I made some comments about this guy, and you were asking me, like, do you believe now? And past couple weeks, he's really been
Oh,
struggling. And
Doomsday.
yeah, exactly. A
Yeah.
game where the Bears put up
He
47
took a
points,
turn.
no catches, and he's been struggling the past few weeks.
Yep.
So what's going on there?
He also dropped a touchdown in this game too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not good. I don't know why or how this is happening. Things were going so well. It's weird that it took a turn this way, and it really has. Like, just even opportunity, the targets have gone way down. And it's kind of puzzling because I mean he was putting up really good numbers when he had opportunity. I think it's less about Adunze himself. Granted, dropping touchdowns is not what you want to do, um, but I think it's less on him and just more on he's not getting the fucking ball, whether it be scheme or Caleb having beef. Who knows? But yeah, it's
I
weird that
thought
he's not getting it. I
you might
mean,
be able
I
to
get
say that about the past couple games, but a team they put up 47 points, like, and Rome's not a part of that. I don't, I don't
I
know,
think it's a
man.
good I think it's a good problem to have if you're the Bears. You're putting up 47 without a Dunze contributing. That's pretty special. I think, but of course, I'm looking at it differently than you are. I think he's a very good player. Um, but yeah, I think he's likely the number one for the Bears for the future. I've said that many times. I don't think DJ Moore is going to last in Chicago. But yeah, his target share has certainly gone up the last few weeks opposed to Dunze's.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with one out of two of those things. I don't think that DJ Moore is going to be the de facto number one going forward. I think they eventually part ways, but I don't think that Rome's going to be the number one for them going forward either. I think he's a wide receiver too in this league, which is still good. Which is still good. Like, it is still good. But he's not the star that I think a lot of people think he is or want him to be. And we would be remiss if we didn't mention Kyle Monangai, absolute banger game, getting the start
Yeah.
for DeAndre Swift, who was out injured. Played fantastic. Kind of feels a little bit like a possible Chuba situation. Not quite as much because DeAndre Swift was also having a very good year before this week. So I don't think they'll pull the trigger quite as quick, but Monangai probably had the best game of a Bears running back all year this past game.
Yeah.
Granted, against this Bengals defense, to be fair, that's an
Right.
important mention here, but he was fantastic.
He was. I'm so glad we got to see it, honestly. And I'm a big Swift fan myself. So, not in love with the fact that he was injured and missed this one, but I did want to see Mongai in a larger role because the small sample size, I mean, he looks pretty good. And just eye test, I like it a lot. And he was just behind Swift. So, we were just getting sprinkles here and there. It was nice to see him take on a full workload. And yeah, I mean, he looked phenomenal. So, I wonder what this means going forward. Is Ben Johnson going to Sonic and Knuckles this thing, or is he going to go right back to Swift and just know what you have? on deck. I don't know, but I hope he gets the ball a little more. He definitely looks really good. It's honestly right there, but it's Pacheco, like late, like 7th round pick from Rutgers, and he can ball, which
He
Pacheco
can ball.
certainly has let down since his rookie season and second year. But yeah, it's cool to see him getting involved. I want him to get Burden more involved. He's got a lot of juice, and we saw some cool design plays that Ben drew up specifically for him the last few weeks, and yeah, it's fun. He's a fun player, but as the season goes on, I hope both of those rookies get more involved in this offense.
Yeah, I don't think I would call it a Sonic and Knuckles. I'm not sure that either of them are really an equivalent to David Montgomery of the Lions, but two different running backs that you can use for certain.
Yeah,
And I do also
that's what
have
I'm going
Swift.
for. But when I say
Yeah.
that, just a 1-2 punch, which a lot of teams are doing it, but I like shouting out the Lions there. It's cool nicknames, and they're the best 1-2 punch in the league. But yeah, obviously they don't have a Gibbs talent on this roster, and I don't think they have a Montgomery talent on this roster. But that one's a little more of a grab than Gibbs. But
I will say we're getting off the game at hand here, but
yeah,
they have
we
been a
are,
little bit
as we
less
do.
yeah, as we do. They've been a little less Sonic and Knuckles this year and a lot more Sonic.
Yeah,
Sonic is being headlined for sure this year. Montgomery, it's kind of interesting. He's had a lot of crap games, but then the games that Gibbs is struggling, Montgomery's really come through, which has been really
yeah,
important for the Lions. So it's been interesting to watch, but it hasn't been quite as good of a balance between the two, which I wouldn't be surprised if that is a bit of offensive coordinator change. So
yeah,
Ben Johnson is the guy who I would count on to be able to make a 1-2 punch
yeah.
work.
Um,
But
I want to know your thoughts on Loveland because he balled out this game. Is he maybe what the Bears thought he was? People are blowing this thing up. This one game,
that
this small
man,
sample size. The comparisons I'm seeing, like people are saying he's Bowers again, like all kinds of
Bowers,
crazy. Yes, I've seen that, and I
stop.
laughed. I laughed. I
Yeah,
laughed too. But I mean, we both know we're Warren guys. We thought the Bears made a big mistake there drafting Loveland, but he did have a great game. I don't know that it really means all that much. He's got great athletic ability. I mean, I guess they just got to put him in a good situation to perform, but I'm certainly not saying he's Brock Bowers after one game.
yeah, and I mean, here's the deal: a lot of his production came on that last offensive play of the Bears for the game. It was like a 58
Yeah,
yard
that's probably
touchdown
half his
pass.
yardage
Yeah,
at least,
exactly.
or over half.
He had 118, and I think that was 58, so just short of half. So,
Yeah.
because that's 116. I'm kind of impressed I can still do that math right now, to be honest. But I am a math head at heart.
Can you
But
bowl a
anyways,
strike though?
absolutely, I bowled over 200 tonight. So
Hell
thank you
yeah.
very much. But
You're
anyways,
welcome.
back to your question here. Colson Loveland, it was never a question of like, was he good? Yes, we know that answer. His name was floated around in the first round for forever. But Tyler Warren is the better tight end. To me, that's not a debate at all, actually. And yes, in this particular week, Loveland had a better game, and Loveland was elite. He was behind Brock Bowers, who had an insane week last
Yeah.
week, which we'll get to. The second tight end out of last week, and I'm sure he will be good. But I still think and will maintain that the Bears made a mistake going Loveland over Warren, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. But anyways, let's move on to a game I'm less excited to talk about here. The Vikings traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions, and the Vikings take this one 27-24. And this was just a disappointing performance all around. The Lions come out firing, deep 40-yard touchdown to Sam Laporta off the rip, go up 7-0, and then just mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. The rest of this game, man, lose it by 3. This game was essentially decided down the line by the blocked field goal because that would have put us within 7, but then the Vikings also return that to the Lions like 20-ish yard line, which even though we lost, shout out my boy Jake Bates for running that man down because he had a tutty all day if Jake Bates did not go full out down that sideline to catch that man. So respect for that because he kept that to 3 by himself. Defense comes out and does their thing, obviously, to hold them to 3. But point really is like, they don't block that kick. I think there's probably a different result here, but they did, and that's what happened. The main thing I want to talk about here is because I am a J.J. McCarthy hater. I think you are as well. And a lot of people are going to take this game and look at it as like, oh, but JJ was so good. No, he wasn't. Look at the stat line, man. The guy threw for sub 150, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He ran for like 20 yards or something like that. And he did run for a touchdown, which, by the way, I love Alex Anzalone. I used to be anti-Alex Anzalone. I will say that, like probably 4 or 5 years ago, but he's really coming to his own in like the past 3 years. The angle he took on that fucking
Yeah, that was
touchdown
bad.
run by McCarthy was awful. Absolutely horrendous. At
Eh,
worst, McCarthy should have gotten 2 yards on that being pushed out of bounds.
mhm.
Like, what was Anzalone doing? Seriously, that was terrible.
It's like he
Terrible.
thought Wentz was QB still or some shit.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it was
crap.
so bad. So I just want to be clear. Vikings won this game. They were the better team on the day. The Lions made way too many mistakes to win this game, especially at home. JJ McCarthy was not good. Let's be clear about that. JJ McCarthy was not good. That's
Yeah.
all I've got to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's really what we've seen from him so far this year. Like, even in their wins, like, he's doing it, kind of. He's not raising up the team, but he's not necessarily lowering it. Like, the turnover, obviously not great, but sub 150. I mean, you got 3 tutties, but one of them's on the ground and shouldn't have happened, as you just mentioned. Um, but yeah, he's just mid. Like, it's nothing special, and I think that's really the stance I take with him is calm the hell down, because people be acting like he's something special, and this is really just even from preseason, like discounting him, not saying he's a rookie and all that. It's like he fucking is. He never played, and it's just I'm not really overly impressed by anything, and I think the hype is dwindling down. I will say I'm not
I
hearing the
agree.
things I was hearing, especially after the Week 1 win against the Bears, um, which is nice. So I'm beginning to cool off, but yeah, initially it was very frustrating hearing all of this praise and watching him play and being like, "What? Why?"
You know who I would like compare it to right now? Like current, like Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy, similar guys. And I don't think Michael Penix is anything special. Like, he's typically
Yeah,
not the
they're guys,
problem. Yeah, but
right?
like he's
But he's
nothing
not going to get you the
special.
win either.
He's not
Like,
worth the draft capital he was taken
yeah.
for. He's not the second coming of Jesus Christ himself.
Right.
So
I mean, you mentioned it. The Lions, all the mistakes they went through in this game, and they lose by 3. Like, that doesn't tell me the opposing team's quarterback balled out. It really doesn't.
yeah, and Monty Knuckles with the very rare fumble. That sucked.
Yeah,
That really
that did suck.
sucked.
Yeah,
I know.
from
Fantasy
behind. I mean,
purposes as well.
that's how. Yeah, very true. Very true. I mean, got the dub, and that's a rare thing for me. So
I
I'll
know.
take
You're
it.
up to 2 on the year, baby.
Yeah. Yep. See if we can start a streak this week. It is against
I
my
know, right?
rival.
Oh, okay. I'm looking forward to seeing that result. But yeah, Lions really disappointing game from them. They've really got to pick it up. I'm not like concerned about, getting to the playoffs or anything at this point yet. Like right now they're sitting at the 7 seed, which that's not great, but 5-3, plenty of time to really turn it around and figure it out. And they're still one of the best teams in the league regardless. So I'm
Definitely.
not that concerned yet, but they have had a lot of stinkers. Like week 1 against the Packers, that was oh, I want to forget it. This, in my opinion, even though they put up 24, was a stinker. They just simply didn't play that well. I mean, so they've got to stop that. I will
Yeah.
say that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, God forbid you have a stinker in the playoffs. I mean, that's it. I mean, you gotta. eliminate all stinkers, and if you're going to lose a game, just lose. Don't beat yourselves. That's the worst thing you can do. It's a terrible thing. But yeah, really not that bad. I was gonna try and kind of save this, but I mean now's a good time to drop it too. I was gonna sprinkle it in. Birds were on bye this week, so I was gonna throw it their way. But same goes for the Lions. Even with the Lions L this week, I mean, and we're gonna talk about these games, so just I guess a little spoiler. But I mean, a lot of NFC teams lost this week in contention. For the Eagles, back to my Birds point, all of the NFC East lost. So that's amazing. But for the Lions, Packers lose too, which is great. I mean, they're the ones that are going to fight you for the division title. Uh, Bears, maybe. I mean, but it's probably likely the Packers.
And like that,
So,
see, that's what annoys me is like this Packers team is not on the same level. I know, like living in Wisconsin, trust me, Packers fans want to believe that they really do, and their
yeah, they're
defense
not.
is
They're
good,
definitely not.
but they're not on the same level, not even close. And that is including, yes, the week one shellacking that they gave to the Lions. But like we've talked about before, there are many reasons for that, and I cannot wait for the Thanksgiving game
Yeah.
for round two. I'm so excited, but it's great that the Packers lost. Makes things a little easier. But like, exactly, the Packers lost to the fucking Panthers. Like this, you're playing the Vikings. Go take the lead in the division, man. Like, what are we doing here? Like, come on
Yeah.
now. But oh well. On to next week there. But bad game for the Lions all around. But a good segue. Let's talk about this Packers Panthers game. Panthers go into Lambeau, an away game, and they pull it out 16-13. Very interesting game because Bryce Young played terrible. Threw for like 102, 112, something in the low 100 that ends in a 2. I can remember that. And they really don't get a lot going here, but this Packers team, oh my goodness, that offense is I've heard so much praise, even in the commentary. They were glazing Jordan Love, and I'm just like, are we for real? Like, he's had a couple good games this year, but overall, I haven't been impressed at all by what I've
I'm
seen out
going
of
to
him.
take it one
Seriously.
step further. He's had a couple good games in his career. Like they are so quick to glaze him. Like
They are.
honestly, he had that playoff run in his second year or some shit, or first year as a starter, I think. But those few games, and then you get like 2 or 3 a season. Like we just talked about the first game of this week, how Tua had 3 decent games. Like that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about a few decent games, and that is all he has done. Like he really hasn't put together much consistency. But that being said, I don't want to take away from this Panthers defense because their defense is no freaking joke. Like
They're
what their
playing
defense
so
has
well.
done the last few weeks is amazing. If they got any freaking help from Bryce Young in this one, it would have been a much larger win. But they get it done, so I'm sure they're happy. But their defense is freaking legit, and they're young too. Like Panthers totally taken that step we talked about preseason and some, in my opinion. They're
I agree.
they're doing really good.
I mean,
And like I
five and
said, young
four.
team too. Yeah. Yep.
They're a half game out of the playoff picture right now. Like they haven't had their bye yet, so that's still coming up. A nice little rest for them.
Yeah.
And half game out of the playoffs, 9 weeks into the season, I wouldn't have predicted that for the Panthers. I like you said, I think we agreed we expected them to get a little bit better, but certainly not winning these types of games. Going to Lambeau, that's a very tough place to play. A very
Yeah.
tough place to play,
It
especially when
is.
you're an East Coast team, typically in the warmth of North Carolina. Like coming to Wisconsin in uh, early November, that's tough. It was very windy, so this is a very good win for them. And you mentioned that Panthers defense is crazy. J.C. Horn is a freaking baller, man. That guy is so good, so good. And Packers took a really, really big loss, losing Tucker Kraft for the rest of the season
They
this
did.
year. So
Yeah.
that's very unideal.
Yeah. I like Kraft a lot. That's definitely gonna hurt him. Musgrave's gonna fill that, and I mean he's serviceable, but it's certainly not Kraft, especially as far as physicality goes. They're gonna miss Kraft for sure.
On the blocking side of things, I definitely agree, but low key on the passing side of things, I wouldn't be surprised if we're impressed by what Musgrave does. I mean, you got to
Yeah,
think about
decent.
this guy went in the same draft as Tucker Kraft, went before Tucker Kraft, and actually beat Tucker Kraft out for the starting spot prior to
Yeah, he
him
did.
getting a lacerated kidney. So I
Uh-huh.
would not be surprised if on the receiving end of things, he's pretty similar. Because like I'm gonna be honest, I like Tucker Kraft a lot too, but I think he's been very very fortunate in with some of these numbers that he's putting up. Like last week we talked about it, the catch against the Steelers, they went for like 50. Like, dude, that was ridiculous. And then there's been a lot like that in my opinion. So I do agree, very very great player, but um, I don't know quite how much it'll affect them overall. We'll see. Blocking, probably a little bit. We'll see how that affects Josh Jacobs and the protection on Jordan Love with chips and whatnot. But we'll see. We'll see. But great win for the Panthers here, truly. So let's move on to this Chargers Titans game. And this was a closey. This was a closey. Chargers pulling it out 27-20. Titans, if they were able to muster an ounce of offense here, they would have won this game because their 2 touchdowns this game came on a special teams touchdown and a defensive touchdown. No offense at all. And you put up 20 points, no offensive touchdowns. Like that defense, and now that we were talking about Chase Brown earlier, nobody from that Titans defense came out and said, "God damn it, Cam Ward, could you move the
Right?
5 yards? Like,
Yeah.
finish a drive." No, no. I mean, he needs to though, and as you said earlier about this Bengals defense, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. But my goodness, man. We'll
Yeah, it's
see.
rough. It's rough. I mean, rookie quarterback, we're gonna give him the longest leash in the world, but it's still just rough. It's really gross. Like, you think at this point in the season, we're talking week 9 recap here, like, there should be at least some bright spots for the first overall pick of the draft, and we talk about that one crazy circus throw, and that is it.
He's still living on that. Like seriously, I mean, they have to be coming back to that being like, I believe that's in there on a consistent basis. But Cam Ward shown me nothing,
Yeah.
nothing to believe that.
Yeah, ladies
Oh,
and gentlemen, this is why we're pro benching your rookie quarterbacks for a few years. Like, how much better is he really getting? I mean, sure, he's experiencing. He's experiencing the most sacks in the league and all the other things that come with these first overall picks with no other help on your team. Like, get somebody
and
else pounded, get him some mental reps, get him in next year. We're talking 1 year. Makes a huge difference.
I'm talking like you should have signed Jameis. Seriously,
Right.
like
Just
something like
bridge.
that.
There's so many
Like,
bridge QBs.
it's unfortunate that like Will Levis is out for the whole year with the shoulder injury, or like maybe they start him. To be honest, I think they bench Will Levis and they start Cam Ward
Yeah,
anyways,
I
which
do.
would have been a
I
bad
think so
move.
too.
But like we keep coming back to that. Bench your rookie quarterbacks,
Yeah.
please. Please.
Yeah.
Like
They're
Jaden
really not
Daniels
doing
is
okay.
the exception to the rule. He is not the rule. Same for CJ
Yes.
Stroud. Exception to the rule, not the rule. It was crazy that we had one back-to-back years because you don't see that. You
Right.
seriously don't. You
It's
really
true.
don't. But yeah, but Chargers, Joe Alt officially out for the rest of the
Yep.
season, which is unfortunate for them because he is excellent. Absolutely fantastic tackle. One of the best in the league, no doubts. But they do go and pick up Penning from the Saints in a trade here, which obviously not quite the level of Alt, but better
No.
than what their
I mean,
options were.
he was a former first round pick and they got him for a 7th. So I don't think it's gonna solve their problems.
No, probably not. But hey, it's something.
It's
It's a
something.
bit of an
Yes.
improvement, right?
Yeah. They
So
had to do
gotta take
something.
that.
They're in
Yeah.
contention. Had to do it.
Yeah.
O line is in
Anyways,
shambles.
let's move on to another game here. We got the Falcons traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. Game ends 24-23 in favor of the Patriots, and my goodness, I would not want to be the Falcons kicker this week. I bet you he is getting couple of unfortunate threats from the fans because you can't miss a game tying extra point. You simply can't. Like
Right.
33-yard field goals at the NFL level should be chip shots. They get blocked. Okay, maybe I understand. You can't miss them. You seriously can't. That is a true choke job. And this Falcons team is seriously one of the most confusing to me in this league. This
Yeah.
Patriots team is 7-2 now after this win. And this Falcons team goes and beats the Bills. They give up they played this great game against the Patriots, but then you got them going out and putting up some absolute shitters against some shitter teams. I just don't know what to think. What are they? What are they? And they consistently fuck up the Bijan usage. Like you can see, games they give them the ball, they excel. It's really just that simple. Games they do not give him the ball, they struggle. You get a game here and there where there's an exception where Drake London goes off, like this game being an example here. But, the majority of the time, Bijan is who you need to run your offense through, and they're not on a consistent basis. I was ready to give them props for finally doing that this year, and then they've just regressed.
Yeah. I
What are
was
they
ready for
doing?
that last year. It's just year
Well,
after year with this, and I don't get it. You're we know the prime of a running back, like, it's rather short. It's a small window, and they're just totally squandering it. Like, he's gotta be out of his mind, like, that they're doing this yet again for the 3rd year in a row. Like, this guy has all the talent in the world. He could be like, we're talking about Jonathan Taylor this year. We could be talking about him like that. Like, he has the talent to be at that level. And we're talking borderline freaking MVP level with what Taylor's doing. And they just refuse to get him in the rock. And like you said, what more proof do you need? It's literally translating to W's.
yeah,
Like, what the
it's
frick?
ridiculous. But we got to talk about the Patriots a little bit here. I mean, I got to ask you, are they back? Are they fully back 1 year into Vrabel?
Oh man. It's scary to think about. I don't think I'm ready for this again. And I knew the minute they frickin' got him as a coach, we were fucked. I just thought it was gonna be in like 2 years. I still I think they're a good team. I don't think they're gonna make like crazy noise come playoffs or whatever, but they're not far away from that. That could be next year. Like they definitely need some pieces, but overall, it's a good team. It's a well coached team, and May has been playing out of his mind. So I mean, anytime you're getting quarterback play the way he's been, I mean, it's tough to say you're not a contender when you have a decent squad around it, and they do, and they have the 7-2 record to boot. So it's you definitely have to treat them like they're contenders, but I still would be surprised if they make like a deep run in playoffs.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I'm of the same mind. They're playing really well right now, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it continues for the rest of the regular season. But come playoff time, come against the big boys, like I know they beat the Bills in the regular season, but playing the Bills in the playoff game or playing the Chiefs in a
Yeah,
playoff
it's
game, I just
different.
I just don't see it yet. I mean, heck, look at we'll talk about this game later, but like, look at the Bills, Chiefs. Bills win almost all the time in the regular season, and come playoff time, it is a different story every
Right.
single time.
Yep.
And I
And
think it
even
will be much of the same here.
right, and that's where experience comes in too, like, you need the playoff starts, you need to be in that environment, you need to be in that below freezing temperatures in New England and all that shit, and May just hasn't experienced that yet, so I don't see it this year, but, I mean, he'll probably get the experience this year, and then next year, who the frick knows?
Yeah. I will say I would love to see them up their usage of Stefan Diggs because right now he's getting around. He's only playing. He's doing very well for his age, but he's only playing like 50-60% of the snaps. And I get he's coming off the whole ACL thing, but I think he's a guy with the talent that he's got and what he's showing in those 50-60% of the snaps. I think you got to get him somewhere close to the 70-80%, especially when you look at the rest of the wide receiver room. I really think he needs to be playing a little bit more, and it is hard to draw things into question when you're 7-2 and playing how they are. I get it,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I think that's because to your point, they need some pieces, and some of those pieces, I think, is
They
a
have them. They're just
true
not using it.
number one wideout, and I think that Diggs could really be that guy if they made that effort. And so
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see
And
what happens.
maybe it is just the injury, and they'll ramp them up when they get closer to playoff time. But yeah, I mean, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth. My counter was going to be, why change anything? You're 7-2. May's playing phenomenal. Like, it's one thing if you're 7-2 and it's the defense doing the work or whatever, but like the offense is performing and your quarterback is flourishing. Like, I would be hesitant to really change much, especially considering Diggs' age now and the injury history. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to monitor the usage throughout the regular season, but I think you're definitely right. Once it's playoff time, I mean, they can't dick around with no 60%, 50%. Like, the guy needs to live on the
Well,
field.
that's what I'm saying. Like you look at wide receiver ones that are around the league, they're playing 95% plus of the snaps. That's how it is. So I'm definitely not asking for that either. I'm going from like 50, 60, like 70, 80. He's still only playing like, 3/4. But like, I think there's an opportunity there and something to consider just from what I'm seeing. But credit to like Booty, who's now out hurt for a little bit, and Pop Douglas, they're certainly playing their part, no doubt. Drake May has probably been the best quarterback this year in terms of spreading the ball around. I will give him that. He's really using everybody that he has at his disposal.
Maybe
So
we'll see some Williams action with Boutte getting hurt.
I wouldn't mind that. That's fine by me. I'm down. Let me
Yeah.
let me see let me see
Good
my rope play
squad.
some straps. Exactly. Goon squad all the way, baby. Um but yeah, so let's move on here to the 49ers taking on the Giants. The first game, sans Cam Scadaboo, and you could tell. I mean, that was my big takeaway here. They had Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary in the backfield, and it certainly wasn't quite the same juice that they had with Scadabo in the backfield.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really replicate Scatabo at this point. Like, I can't think of another running back in the league that's quite like him. Like, he's really just kind of one of one. So, I mean, we knew the loss was going to be huge. It was immediately when it happened against the Eagles. And yeah, it's going to continue to follow this team probably the rest of the way this year. I mean, just the whole team aspect too. Like, he was kind of their whole energy juice. Like, he was their freaking spark plug. And excuse me, with him down and out, I mean, I really like Tracy, but yeah, he's not going to bring that kind of physicality or energy to a game. It's just not his style.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way you put that. Scadaboo is like one of one, and we're not saying. I don't think you're saying one of one in terms of like he is the best, but he is one of one in
Not
my
at all.
opinion. Yeah.
He's just the only Scatterbo, that's for sure.
He is the only running back in the league that I seriously do not think he would care if he left the field paralyzed, which maybe that's a terrible thing to say, but I think he's probably the most fearless runner in the league. And that's when I say one of one, that's what I mean. I think
Yeah.
Scadaboo, required to win a game, would quite literally spear his head into a brick wall.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind, actually.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd put money on Scatterbo to take down that brick wall.
He seriously just might. And 49ers on the other side, they take this game, and Kittle starting to find his way again in this offense after coming back from the injury. They need to make an effort, in my opinion. This is one where it's not as strong of an opinion as the Diggs thing from the Patriots, but they need to make an effort to get Kittle more involved again, especially with their wide receiver injuries and just general problems and depth there. I mean, their wide receiver one when healthy is somewhere between Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, which isn't to, knock them as, bad receivers, but are they true wide receiver ones in the league? I certainly don't think so. But George Kittle, at his best, is a top 3 tight end in the league, no doubt in my mind. And if you're considering blocking, he's probably the best. Like if you're thinking about tight end as a whole, he's probably the best.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
agree.
got to make an effort to get him more involved again, more and
Yeah.
more involved. McCaffrey, though, remains a
Yeah,
stud,
I was
an
gonna say, I
absolute
think
stud.
I think that's just it. They're just so used to McCaffrey being RB1, wide receiver one, tight end one, like everything. It doesn't matter. They're gonna get him the ball. And honestly, what I am we know this. I am not a Niners guy at all, but I kind of want him to keep doing this. Like if we see a 1,000-yard receiving season and rushing season from one guy, that's going to be pretty special, and McCaffrey's a real shot at that.
He does. He does. I mean, he's the focal point, and he should be. That like even given my earlier comments about integrating Kittle more,
Yeah,
McCaffrey
it's still
should be
McCaffrey.
the focal point, 100%. But like, I don't need to be seeing targets, consistently going to Kendrick Bourne or something like that, who did
Right.
pop off earlier this year. I get it. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But like that's with Kittle out, Jawan Jennings out, and Pearsall out. So what options do they have? But with all those other guys back, I don't need to be seeing that many targets going there. Like feed Kittle or something like that. On the few plays you don't get McCaffrey the ball, give Kittle the
Yeah.
ball. You know what I'm saying? Know
On
what I'm
the
saying?
5 plays, you don't give
Yeah,
McCaffrey the ball. Yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
Exactly. Yeah, so let's move on to a pretty exciting game here. The Colts traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, and my goodness, the Steelers remembered that they're a good defensive team. They actually remembered that. It was pretty amazing. They forced Daniel Jones to look like Daniel Jones of the New York Football Giants.
They did.
5 turnovers, 3 picks, 2 fumbles. TJ Watt had an amazing game overall. It was one of the best defensive performances that I've seen from a team this year, this Steelers team in this Colts game. It was fantastic.
Yeah. It was great. Just to put it into perspective, like, just that these Colts kinda are no joke. 5 turnovers and you lose in a one-possession game? It's crazy. Like, and I called this. I didn't think it was gonna happen this way.
I think they had 6 turnovers actually overall. I think only 5 for Daniel Jones, but I think somebody else fumbled, and I can't remember off the top of my head who, but I think it was 6 turnovers for them, and they lose by 7.
Yeah, that's crazy. That should not happen. But yeah, it was scary to see Danny Dimes kind of revert back to that. I I'm scared because I was loving this Indiana Jones shit, man. He was really great, or has been great for the Colts, and all the years of suffering with the Giants. Like I'm really rooting for the guy. But this one scares me, and to make matters arguably worse, they trade for Sauce Gardner and give up 2 first-round picks and Adonai Mitchell, who I think could be something, all for Sauce. And it scares me because, like, I think they overpaid for Sauce for one. And what if Danny Dimes just like becomes old Danny Dimes again? Like you totally just all eggs in this Daniel Jones basket, and now you hurt your future. And what if he's on the shitter again? Then you don't have the capital to get a replacement. Like you just gave it up. So there's never been more pressure on Daniel Jones to get it done now.
I think that Daniel Jones will be fine. I think this truly was a case of the Steelers remembered that they're a top defensive unit in the NFL, and I really think that's the case of what this was. They were just amazing. I think Danny Dimes is going to be just fine. But to address your other point there, massive. I'm not going to understate that. Massive overpay for Sauce. I think we've said this on the pod before, but like Sauce Gardner had a fantastic rookie year. There is no denying that he was
And
fantastic
sophomore.
as a
I'll give him
rookie.
sophomore too.
Yeah,
But that's it.
it was like pretty good. I didn't think it was amazing in his sophomore. It was pretty good. But I wouldn't say it was bad. But since then, it's been like I don't know about this. I don't know, man. And giving up 2 first rounders and Adonai Mitchell, who the Colts way undervalued just because they were pissed at him for that goal line fumble in like week 2 or 3 or whatever it was. That's way too much to give up for Sauce. One corner.
It
One
is.
one corner. Like the NFL is all about positional value, Right, that's why running backs, even if they're going to be studs in the league, typically do not go until rounds 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
That is where you typically see, unless you're like the cream of the crop, like a
right.
Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, you don't go till 2, 3, 4, maybe back end of round
Even
round
even
one.
the hammer home your point there. Jets were looking to move Brees Hall too. They just wanted a third round pick. Couldn't happen.
Yeah,
That's all they
they
wanted.
I know, and to be honest with you, if no team was willing to offer that, I think there were some rumors that the Chiefs were offering like a fourth. I think they
Yeah.
should have accepted the fourth. I'm so serious right now. I really think they should have taken the fourth. There was no reason for you to keep Brees on your team. He's not resigning. He's not coming back. So like, take the value you can get because your season's done. Like respectfully, it's over. See what you have in Isaiah Davis. You know, like, get the man gone because Brees doesn't. I mean, you could tell by the tweets of Brees afterwards. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to be there watching Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner leave. He doesn't want to be there. So let him go and get whatever you can for him. It's one of those things where it's unfortunate. Is he probably worth like a third rounder? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, no reason to keep paying him. Like, really, like you got to accept what you can get. You don't have bargaining power here. You have no bargaining
No,
power
you
at
don't.
all.
I mean, they might get a comp pick. Maybe that's what they're thinking, but that's going to be best case scenario a third, or it could be worse. So why not take the fourth and guarantee you're getting something? But I am glad he's not a Chief. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I know you are. I know you are. Um, that would have been interesting. I wonder how the Chiefs would have used him because Andy Reid is not a one running back guy at all. So that would have been interesting. But anyways, this was a really great win for the Steelers. Really, I mean, I was quite impressed to be honest with you. But let's move on to Broncos traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. And if the Texans could have just figured out how to get the ball in the end zone one time, they win this game. But no, 5 field goals. Five field goals. Honestly, unbelievable. Kaimi Fairbairn, good for you, man. Banger game.
Yeah, right.
His fantasy owners very happy. But Broncos still win 18-15, and they are on absolute fire, man. They cannot lose right now. Up to 7-2 on the year coming into this week.
Yeah. Yeah, they're no joke. I mean, the defense is really starting to turn around, which I've been saying especially all year, which you've agreed too. They have a top end defense, but they weren't really playing like it early on. They're coming to true form, which is awesome. I want to see the offense pick up though, because this is a few games now where the defense has played a stellar game, and the game is in question, and it really shouldn't be. They just need more from the offensive side of the ball. Granted, this matchup in particular, Texans defense also very, very good. So 18, not great, but I mean, you'll take it against this Texans team. But yeah, kudos to the Broncos D forcing all of those damn field goals.
Yeah, no, I mean it's impressive, man. But unfortunate for the Texans, does look like C.J. Stroud is going to be out for at least this upcoming week, and Davis Mills will be getting the start, making a bleak Texans season look even worse because I there are some backup quarterbacks in the league that I can see you bringing your team to victory. Davis Mills, respectfully, not one of them.
We've seen a lot of him. Like
So much.
he is a backup who has just played so much.
I mean,
But
he
yeah,
was
he doesn't
wasn't
really.
he their starter
He was
like
their starter. Yeah,
the
he
year
was.
before C.J. Stroud? So
He was.
yeah,
He was, and that's probably part of my thinking. But I just feel like we see him a lot for not being that talented. We've seen him a lot, but yeah, that's enough strays at Mills. I hope he does good. I mean, I want this Texans team to be competitive. With the Colts loss too, I kind of want this AFC South to heat up a bit, but that again is me assuming Danny Dimes just will suck again. But if he were, if he goes back to his normal self, I think this is the Colts division, no question.
yeah. I'm kind of disappointed you said no more strays at Davis Mills because I had one more, but I'll keep it to myself now. It's fine. So let's move on to the Jags here taking on the Raiders in Las Vegas. Um, Pulling it out 30-29. The Raiders had a real shot to win this one. in overtime, I believe. You correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe overtime. Um,
Yeah, I
and
think it was.
yeah, but I kind of alluded to this earlier. Brock Bowers, insane game,
Finally.
absolutely. I mean, he's been hurt. He was out and hurt for like the past 6 weeks. I think out for the last three, hurt for the three before that. I mean, when the guy misses 3 straight weeks, you could tell like he shouldn't have been playing the weeks before that, especially on this Raiders team.
True.
It's like, what are you doing, putting this man's at
I
risk?
know. I don't.
Like why, why?
But kudos to Bowers. I mean, played through going to battle for this honestly terrible team.
Yep.
But yeah, he looked phenomenal. I mean, 3 touchdowns, just play after play. I mean, he's such a special talent. It was so refreshing to see him get the ball this way again. Like you said, a lot of it probably was due to injury and, of course, the 3 games he missed. But it was just really nice to see it happening again.
I agree, but this was a very tough loss for the Brock Bowers and the Raiders. I mean, kept it close in overtime. Jags go score the touchdown. Raiders get the ball, do go score the touchdown. And honestly, for a team like the Raiders, I think right call going for the win. Honestly,
Thousand
especially
percent.
given how little time was left in overtime too. So the last possession is probably going to go to the Jags anyways. I get it. I like you going for two and the win here.
Yes.
Unfortunate, it
Thousand
did
percent.
not work out for them.
Yeah.
Um, but this was a rare scenario where you and I will, I think, agree with the coach's decision to go for two here. There's a lot of
Yes.
scenarios where I'm like, what are you doing? Like, come on, I don't give a
Yeah.
shit that it's the analytics play. You're being stupid. Like, you're
Right.
being
No,
stupid.
you
This was
said
the
it
right
very
call.
well. The main thing for me, well, it's really two really main points. First being they're a 2-win team. Your season's trash. Just fucking go for the upset. Go for your Super Bowl, whatever you want to call it. Um, Second point being the clock, like you mentioned, they weren't getting the ball back. That's you settling for a tie. Nobody likes that shit. Grow a pair, freaking go for it. And that they did. And yeah, I mean, they say 2-point conversion, pretty much 50-50 play. You take that over giving them the ball and you not, most likely not getting the ball back all day long. But yeah, to have 2 wins on top of it, you got to go for the win there.
Yeah, and Jags, so they pull us out 30-29, get another win in the win column, and they make some moves as well at the trade deadline to get themselves some wide receiver help. And I
Yeah.
think a bit of an underrated move here. Jacoby Myers, bringing him in for only a fourth and a sixth. And I don't think that Jacoby Myers is a true wide receiver one. That is the role that he was playing for the Raiders. But I think that going forward, because it happened after this game, obviously. I think going forward, Jacoby Myers would be a pretty valuable wide receiver two for these Jaguars. That is if Brian Thomas Jr. remembers how to consistently catch the ball. That's a very
Very
important
true.
caveat there. Otherwise, Jacoby Myers is probably going to be forced into playing a wide receiver one again, which he's done fine in. He's done fine doing that. It's not like he's been bad, but I just don't see him as a true,
Yeah.
wide receiver one in the league.
Yeah, I don't either, which is kind of funny because he's done a lot of it.
Yep.
Like even when he was a Patriot, like he was their number one guy. Um, but yeah, I think it's more telling about Hunter than anything, because I don't think you're moving that kind of capital for this guy if you don't think Hunter, or if you think Hunter can ball at wide receiver. I mean, I know he's hurt right now, but I mean, you really bringing Myers in to be your third guy, giving up that kind of capital? I don't know. Maybe they're finally starting to, come to their senses and agree with Palm City Chucks.
Well, I mean, they're going through the stages of grief, and they're at the acceptance stage. That's where they're at right now. I'm serious. And they're at the acceptance stage of like, damn, we fucked up. Yes, you did. You're so correct. Yes, you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Because Myers is too damn good, and they gave up too damn much for him to be a number 3. So,
Yep,
yeah, I'm
100%.
thinking Hunter, it's time to give him some defensive reps.
100%. 100%. pull like Patrick Peterson him. That's fine. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's fine.
Hell,
But
you could
like
have frickin' half the packages with him in, but he's the number 3, and he's just taking a frickin' safety away. That's what you're doing with him. Like, no more of these frickin' 2-yard crossing routes where you're just forcing him the ball to get fricking drilled.
it's really annoying watching that. But
It
so
is.
it's great. But anyways, let's move on. We got 4 games left to recap from week 9 here. Saints traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Rammies, and the Rammies were dominant. Absolutely dominant. I mean, Matthew Stafford's looking good. Kyra Williams is looking good. Devontae Adams is looking really good. And this Saints team is falling apart. I mean, Kamara used to be one of the most reliable wide receiver, running back ones in the league. Like,
You're not that wrong.
yeah, I wasn't that wrong. Actually, I was just gonna say that he's kind of that, but he's kind of a gadget guy. Christian McCaffrey's up here, and then Kamara's like down here. You know what I'm saying? Kind of
Right.
similar play style though. But he's been horrible this year, and in this game in particular, he was really, really bad. Tyler Shuck have not been impressed at all by
No.
what I've seen. I am not surprised that Spencer Rattler got the start out of the gate, but I think they were at the point where like Spencer Rattler was on, he was on an uptrend, and then he kind of plateaued, and then he went back down, and he had 2 really bad games in a row, and I guess that was enough for the Saints, given where they're at in the season, to pull the trigger, which like kind of a similar to a Brown scenario of you just kind of got to see what you got, just in
Right.
case. And right
Yeah,
now,
it's
I'm not seeing a lot from Shuck.
yeah, I think it's the move the Saints had to make, but that being said, I'm gonna say something I never thought I'd say. I miss Rattler. The Saints team was like they were competitive in these games where I mean, we've been all over it all year. We said they're most likely gonna be the worst team in the league, and they've been competitive in a number of games, and it's all because of Rattler, apparently, because Show does not look good at all, and Rattler at least had some juice, but I do agree they needed to see what they have because I mean they know where they're headed and they'll have their pick of the litter for quarterback come the draft this year if the trend continues. So I see why they're doing it, but I don't like it. I mean it's not competitive at all. But yeah, the Rams look great. You said it, the connection between Adams and Stafford, I mean, that's really blossoming into something special. And we know, I mean, Puka and him have ridiculously good chemistry. The way Stafford bonds with his receivers, like it's truly a work of art. Like he is insane. I mean, the numbers between the Calvin Johnson years, the Cooper Cup, and now the Puka, and now he's sprinkling in Adams. Like it's insane. If you are his favorite target, you are a happy freaking man.
Dude, Matthew Stafford will forever be criminally underrated. Even after the Super Bowl ring, which gained him a lot of credit, he would have been
It
like,
did.
I don't even know what's past criminally. I don't know what word to use there, but like that's where he was in terms of being underrated as a quarterback. So I'm so glad that he got his ring, even if it wasn't with the Lions. But he is still so underrated. I mean, he's got his wide receivers have the 2 best wide receiver seasons ever in the history of the
Yes.
NFL.
Yes. And
Calvin
Puka
Johnson
was
won Cooper
on
Cup too.
pace. Puka was
Yes.
on pace, which now Adams getting heavily involved. I don't know if Puka's going to get there. He had the injury.
Yeah.
Or had a few injuries, really. I mean, he's getting banged up every week, it seems. But yeah, I mean, it was going to happen again. A third straight time where Stafford is just the goat of force feeding a guy. But it's not that way when you watch him play. Like, yeah, they're getting the ball freaking constantly, but it makes sense. It's on time. It's right where it needs to be, and it's effective.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if they're double teaming or it just doesn't matter. Stafford is awesome, and we will continue to glaze him on this channel till the end of
Absolutely.
time. Probably post retirement too for a season or
Seriously.
two.
Absolutely. You best believe with me on this pod, Stafford will get shout outs for the remainder of time. I will say
Yes.
one thing to bounce back to a previous game. You said Spencer Rattler had some juice, and it just reminded me. I do want to do a quick check in on that Bengal juice.
Oh, the Bangle juice. Yeah. Well, I did pick them in this week, which you picked the Bears. We didn't even really go over
No,
our picks, but yeah, you picked the Bears, I picked the Bengals. I somewhat like the Bears if the Palm City Chuckers recall, and still
the
went against them here.
Chuckheads, some may say.
Chuckheads, that's right, the Chuckheads. But yeah, the Bears just injuries at cornerback really thought was going to get him in this one. So that was really my reasoning for Bangle Juice. And I mean, I really wasn't wrong. It's like right there. It's just kind of one of those games. But I love when we're opposite on these kick ass games. Like that makes me so happy, even though I was on the wrong side of it. But to segue into another difference, I did have Steelers over Colts. So I
You
got that
did. That
one.
was a good pull. That was a good pull. I'll give you that. That was a good
Just
pull.
honestly, any AFC North juice, I'll try it.
Yeah. So I feel like that was a circular answer of a way to avoid my question, a direct question of how is that Bengal juice specifically tasting right
Well,
now
as
in week
as
10?
we know, I haven't really been drinking it nearly as much.
Okay.
I quit for a few weeks and then I kind of relapsed last week. It doesn't taste great and I'm probably going to get off the stuff again.
I think it's for the best that you go to rehab for this Bengal juice.
You're
It's
probably right.
time.
It's
I'll
it
I'll
can't
I'll
be
drive.
healthy.
I'll drive to PA,
Not
pick
right
you up.
now.
Yeah, not right now, damn straight. But maybe tomorrow. Nah, just kidding. Can't skip out on work. But this weekend I'll be there. Don't you worry. We'll get you into the best one there is. Um,
Appreciate it.
yeah. But let's move on to another exciting game here. A likely AFC playoff matchup, one that we see pretty consistently in the AFC Championship game. The Chiefs traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills, and I don't know why I went against conventional wisdom here of how
Uh,
this game normally plays
2 years
out.
in
Like,
a row, buddy.
I
You're
know,
giving
man.
me this free win every time.
I know. I just really believe with the way this Chiefs were playing lately, and I wasn't super impressed by the Bills lately. I was like, maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time. And I got to be a little bit risky right now, right? And this is totally a game with the team of the Chiefs' quality that they could take their head out of their ass and
No,
win in
you're
the
right.
regular
It's the
season.
kind of games you need to have different.
Yeah,
You're right. It
exactly.
made sense.
Exactly. Yeah, so as per usual in the regular season, Josh Allen gets the best of Patrick Mahomes here, 28-21 in Buffalo. And yeah, I mean, Josh looked better than Patty did in this game. And you bet your ass when it comes playoff time, it will be the exact opposite.
Most likely, yeah. It's ridiculous the history between this matchup. I mean, it's years and years of sample size and yeah, the Bills seem to get it done in the regular season, but come playoffs, home, away, it doesn't matter. They're going to disappear and Patty is not.
13 seconds, man. I will never forget that. 13 fucking
Yeah.
seconds. Just
Oh,
insane.
for real. That is something we will absolutely never forget. It was
Uh,
insane.
Ridiculous work from Patty Mahomes there. But yeah, so I mean, not a lot to add. It was a very classic Chiefs Bills regular season game. I mean, the Bills were, I know the score was only seven, a 7 point spread here by the end, 28-21, but the Bills were a lot better in this game. Patty did not play great. The Chiefs couldn't really get anything going on the run game either. Defense wasn't fantastic. So it's, pretty classic Bills Chiefs regular season
Yeah.
game here.
I'm starting to think there's like Andy Reid logic behind these games. Like they're just like hiding everything when they play them. Not like the Bills don't have access to the all 22 of every other Chiefs game, but yeah, it seems weird like that they just don't play great. And they lose this game every because that's kind of how it's been too. It's not like they're the playoff humdingers and or just a great game and the Bills came out on top. Like it's like the Bills are better and they win every regular season
Yep,
game.
every
And then
time.
playoffs, the Chiefs just freaking win. And there it gets nutty, but yeah, it's really interesting to me. I doubt there's logic there, but it's just so much history. It makes you think.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no logic in NFL football, and I think that's why, it's one of the reasons I love it, and that's why we
Yeah.
watch. There's no logic, man. Anybody can beat anybody any given Sunday. But
Any given.
that is another one, like Kris said, we had three differences. We've talked about three of them, and that's the three, and Kris, of course, gets two of them. It's just the way the year has gone for me. We'll talk about that more when we get to the picks. We got two more games to discuss here. Seahawks taking on Washington Commanders in Washington, winning 38-14. Seahawks are dominant right now. There's really no other way to put it. They're playing fantastic ball. Jackson Smith and Jigma is fantastic. Torrey Horton had a really, really great game here as well. I really think that the Seahawks need to start giving, this is another thing, maybe kind of like the Patriots. I really think they need to start giving Kenneth Walker the ball more. I mean,
Yeah.
Charbonnet is scoring the touchdowns, but his yards per carry, I think, is sub 3.
It's
Sub
I
3.
believe it's the worst in the NFL with probably a minimum attempts. You know how they do that. But yeah, Walker needs to get the ball. Walker is special. I don't understand this. It's starting to feel Bijanish. And I understand he is an injury history and all of that, but he has so much talent. Like he's freaky. Like obviously there's a shit ton of athletes in the NFL. There are a handful that are freaky, and I would almost give Kenneth Walker the nod at one of those freaky spots. And he's not getting utilized. It's really annoying.
He's not getting utilized. It's not even just that. He's not getting used like he should. There have been multiple games this year where Charbonnet played more snaps and got more touches. What
Yeah,
are we doing? What are
yeah,
we doing out here? If you want to go like, to your point of view, you want to go like kind of Sonic Knuckles, because Charbonnet is definitely more of a Knuckles for sure. Like he is a bowling ball. Like that's fine. But Kenneth Walker needs to be playing like at least 60% of the snaps every single week. There should absolutely never be a week where Charbonnet is playing more. Especially,
right.
like, the proof is in the pudding, man. As I just said, sub 3 yards per carry. What are we
It's
doing here?
terrible.
What are we
It's terrible.
doing here? So I
He's
just don't
putting up
understand.
like he's putting up unplayable numbers. And he's winning the target share some of these games, like you said. It's just really despicable. I think Charbonnet might be dating the coach's daughter. I'm not sure, but it's a theory.
You might be right, for reals, man, for reals. But then let's talk about the Commanders here. I mean, not a lot to talk about in terms of the performance. Not a great performance, but there is one very big storyline that will affect them for the remainder of this year, and that is Jaden Daniels with a uh, do not watch the video type of
Yes.
injury. It
Yep.
was very gruesome. Um, Out for the foreseeable future. If I am the Commanders, regardless of the timeline, I'm shutting him down for the rest of the year. We said
They
this, I think,
better.
we said this, I think, 2 weeks ago, where you and I were like,
Yeah, don't
okay,
rush him back.
don't even rush him back. What do? They rush him back. Not only rush him back, but he's playing in a 31-point game with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I mean, what are we doing? That's coaching malpractice. Like, that's not just a mistake. That's coaching malpractice. And for Dan Quinn to come out and say, I missed that one. What the fuck do you mean you missed that one?
Yeah, for real.
How do you miss that? What do you, I don't care if you burn a timeout. You're going to lose the game. You see that man's run out there? Timeout. Timeout if you miss that one. You didn't miss shit. You meant to send Jaden out there. What are
Yep.
you talking about? And I like Dan Quinn. He did a great job with this team last year. He was a fantastic defensive coordinator during the Legion of Boom on the Seahawks.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, this was coaching malpractice that Jaden Daniels was still out there. And I mean, the Commanders, in my opinion, and you know how I feel about them, were already on the downward trend for the rest of this year, and I don't think they were going to go anywhere. But now they're definitely toast. Are you kidding me? Like, you signed your own death warrant right there.
Yep.
And the best you have to say is, I missed that. Fuck out of here.
Yeah. Honestly, ridiculous statement to have there. But yeah, it's sad, honestly, even as an Eagles fan, like you hate to see that, especially in this way. Like it didn't mean anything. It was for nothing, which it sucks. And obviously LSU fan too. Don't like that happening to Daniels, but or anyone, really. It's terrible. And I understand like where Quinn's coming from. It's a lot easier to say this in hindsight, like that you shouldn't be playing starters and all that shit. regardless of that, in this situation, if you want to punish your starters, you're mad how they played, you want them to correct it or end on a high note, fine, whatever. You're not running plays like you're running the ball and that's it. You're just killing the clock and embarrassing them that way. Like you're not expecting Daniels to make plays at this point in a what 24-point game or whatever it was. Like you're not doing that. And that's where it's really boneheaded for me because I get you almost want them to no, this you did this, you're gonna deal with it. Like we're not bailing you out or whatever. Because you know how idiots be. They don't actually watch the game and they'll be like, oh, sorry, the backups were whatever, it wasn't that bad or whatever. Like you can let them go down with the ship. It's just the way you do it really matters because you can't allow shit like that happening. You literally need to run the ball 3 times, punt, run the ball 3 times, punt, game's over. Like, that's it.
Counterpoint to that, and we say it all the time, you want to do that for majority of the guys? Sure, that's fine. They're less likely, to get hit, get
Yeah.
injured type of
Yeah.
situation.
And they
But
rushed this guy back from injury.
positional value, man. And like the quarterback is not somebody
Yeah.
you can be doing that with. It's
Right.
not. And don't get me wrong, he's on his rookie deal, so like it's not like he's on a $50 million contract type of situation. But if you believe in him, like probably you should based on what you saw last year, he might be your $50 million guy one day. So putting
Yeah.
him at injury risk for something like he's lucky that's not his throwing arm. I'm just gonna say that because that left arm
Oh,
may
it's
may
destroyed.
never work the same
Yeah.
again for
Yeah.
real. That it was bad. So like you got to take all those things into consideration. So I take your point, but counterpoint like positional value. If you want to leave some starters in there to suffer, fine.
Yeah.
But like
And particularly rushing back Daniels too. Like we said, they shouldn't have done that to begin with. He was already coming back from an injury. And yeah, and they put him in this terrible situation. And that's the other thing too. Like I'm saying, like it's so simple to just run the ball and that's it. Like these guys are competitors. They're going to try and compete, even in a game that's spent. So you got to kind of know that too. And Daniel's certainly going to try and compete. So yeah, and you're right. You got to look at the monies because I mean, he's gonna get that contract probably still just based off what he did last year. Um, but yeah, it's nothing you ever want to see a guy going down when it doesn't matter. You don't like a guy going down ever, but especially in garbage time.
100%, 100%. But let's move on to the last game of the week, the Monday night game. The
Yay!
Cardinals traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys, and the Cardinals pull this one out 27-17. This was interesting. Cardinals were dominant for the first 3 quarters, as they have been for basically every single game this year, if we're being honest. And then the fourth quarter comes around and they collapse. And for the start of this fourth quarter, probably up until about halfway, it looked like it might just be the same type of situation. But they pull themselves together, they pull out the win. And the big storyline here for me, and I want to talk to you about this a little bit, is the Jacoby Brissett and Kyler Murray situation is
Mm-hmm.
very, very interesting. I'm not surprised that the Cardinals come out and say we want Jacoby Brissett to continue starting games, but I am intrigued by how they went about handling the Kyler Murray
Yeah,
part of it, because if he
very
was hurt
interesting.
enough to go on IR, you would have done that 2 or 3 weeks
Yes,
ago
exactly.
when he was already sitting and he'd be
Yeah,
eligible to return in the next week or 2. I can't remember if it was whether 2 or 3 weeks ago, but, somewhere in there would be able to return in a week or 2, but he's
yeah,
out for these past couple games, and now you put him on
yeah.
IR? It seems like you're just kinda posturing here. I don't know about that. Seems
No,
kinda weird to me.
I totally agree. I honestly thought it was this even before this game took place. I thought Murray was probably healthy enough to play.
Yep.
And they didn't want him to play because it's just been that bad for him this year. And now all of a sudden the foot's not progressing as it should, and we're gonna slap the IR tag on him. I agree. It's fishy as all hell. Like I think they're done with him. I think he's played his last snap as a Cardinal at this point. I think they're gonna move on. And I wonder if I'm sure a team probably will gamble on him. I mean, he has had some bright spots, but
Kyler Murray
I
to the
really
Dolphins.
I really do. Yeah, honestly, maybe that would be weird, but maybe. I don't know. There's not that many landing spots. There's a lot of serviceable QBs out there and a lot of just young rookie question marks where you're not going to bring in a Kyler Murray.
I
But
feel like
I do
Kyler's gonna
wonder.
be a bridge guy. Like he's probably gonna be a bridge guy for a team that's like needs a quarterback but isn't early enough in the draft to really take one that they
Yeah.
feel confident enough starting right away. Even though they shouldn't, regardless if he's the number one pick. Just want to throw that out there again. So I feel like Kyler's about to become a bridge guy, and to really drill home the point here is like just look at the receiver and the tight end production when Brissett has started versus Kyler.
Right.
You go Trey McBride, great example. In the last 22 games, I believe it was, with Kyler Murray as the starting quarterback, 3 touchdowns in the last 22. In 3 games, with it's either 3 games, 4 touchdowns, or 4 games, 3 touchdowns for Trey McBride while Jacoby
Either
Brissett is
way.
starting. Exactly. Either way is fine. And then you look, Marvin Harrison had, one of his best games of his NFL career on Monday as
Yeah,
well.
he
He
did.
was excellent. So at this point, it comes back to the age-old debate. You're talking about, Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, is it Marv? Is it Kyler? I think it's Kyler. I think I'm ready to definitively say that at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it's the proof is starting to add up in your favor there. I mean, Brissett has this team playing so much better, and they're winning games now. I mean, Cowboys, we know their defensive struggles have been really bad this year, so there is a bit of an asterisk next to this one. But regardless, they just look like a complete different team without Murray there, and I'm all for it because I'm kind of sick of Murray myself. Like
Me
it's
too.
yeah, it's just it's not
Yeah,
great. I'm ready for them to move on, and
he's a
I've always
guy.
liked Brissett too. Like he's just such a good bounce around backup.
And we've definitely talked about this last year, and it's like I've been sour on Kyler for a while because at this point we didn't even get to the Black Ops Call of Duty release this year
Yeah, right.
before he got benched. But there was so much evidence that that game released, he sucked after that. So
Yeah.
I don't think that he is fully bought into football. I don't think
Mm,
there's another way for me to say that. I
no.
really don't.
Yeah.
But then to jump.
How's this for a hot take? Kyler Murray goes back to baseball.
That's a hot take. That is a hot take. Probably should have stuck with baseball. Let's be honest. Um, but anyways, to jump to the Cowboys side of things, the last 2 weeks, this offense does not look the same at all. Coinky dink that those are the 2 games that CeeDee Lamb has been back. I don't know. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting.
Very. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really think of it like that, but yeah, I mean, if it happens again, I'm full on with you. But for now, I
Yeah,
think it might just be a coincidence.
yeah. I'm just saying. I did say coinky dink. Don't get me wrong, but CeeDee Lamb. That doesn't say I'm saying CeeDee Lamb is an untalented guy. He's one of the best receivers in the
No,
league.
it's
But
just
when it
it's
comes to
different.
offensive scheming, is like, are you trying to force him the ball too much? Is those types of questions?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
before these past 2 games, Jake Ferguson was seeing a lot of the ball. That has not been the case since CeeDee Lamb came back, and that was really great for the Cowboys. That was super effective. They got guys involved like Ryan Flournoy, who was looking pretty good, stepping in for CeeDee Lamb in that role, and he actually did catch a touchdown in this Monday night game as well. So just it it's kind of sometimes with these really really talented guys who are really talented, and I'm not going to sit here and dispute that. It's kind of a catch-22, right? He's really really talented and you want to get him the ball, but where is the balance? Because it's not like a Matthew Stafford situation, because Dak's not Matt Stafford. Just going to throw that
right,
out there. Um, like who knows? Just something to think about. We'll see what happens in this next
no,
game,
you're
and maybe
right.
I'll get you on board next week.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, teams definitely can overcomplicate things when you have a star at CD's level, 100%. And yeah, sometimes it's simpler to just dumb it down and just Drake May style throw it to who's open, and you just go. But yeah, you get the egos involved, you get everything else. There's expectations, and there's a lot on the line too. Like I don't think people realize that. Like these guys, how much they care about the legacy and whatever Hall of Fame bids and money. Like they have bonuses set up for every freaking one of these guys. Like if they're
Yep.
not getting the freaking rock, they're not getting whatever. And it's large sums of money. Like it could be $1 million if CD Lamb gets 100 catches this year. Like he fucking wants that money. So Dak better freaking give it. Like that's the way it is.
And one last thing before we move on to the picks section of this episode was one thing I will say is CeeDee Lamb really did fuck up in the game-ending play, though. It wasn't like game-ending play, was one, allowed the Cardinals to come on, run the clock out. He ran that route way too goddamn deep for needing 2 yards.
Yep.
Way too deep. Like, he would have had that cornerback cooked. They were giving him those 2 yards. They were giving him 10. He decided he wanted to go and try and pick up 15, 20. That was just a really, really bad mistake there. So that is the one thing I will say about CD from that. That was a really bad mistake because the Cowboys had a genuine chance because this Cardinals team, as I said earlier, loves to collapse in the fourth. But I did want to call that out as well.
Before we move on, real quick, Cowboys made some splashes in the trade market as well, bringing Quinnen Williams from the Jets. What do you think about this one? Was this one an overpay? I saw some posts on ESPN giving them an F grade for this. Definitely don't agree with that, but it was nice to see.
I mean, I think given their current situation, overpay, yes, because I don't think it's going to change anything for them, especially when it's at a position where they already traded
Yeah.
for a guy in the same spot. They had other needs. I think if you're looking at a winning team, good value. On paper, the trade itself, I think, is fine. Maybe a little, geared towards the Jets, but that's, like that's sometimes what you got to do if you really want to win, and that's
Right.
just sometimes how it is, especially when it's a guy like Quentin Williams. They didn't necessarily have to move on from right now. Unlike the Brees situation where they really had no leverage. They know he's gone after this year. That's just how it's going to be. So I think on paper it's not that bad, but when you look at the state of the Cowboys right now, terrible trade. Terrible trade.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they did overpay for him, and I think you bring up a really good point. Like, yeah, they're adding a really, really good player to their team, but I really don't think it moves the needle all that much. I still think this is going to be one of the worst defenses in the league, and yeah, it really just makes no sense from the point of that you just got Clark, who's probably like a top 20 D tackle in the league. Now you got a top 3 D tackle to pair with them. Like that's great. It's definitely going to help your run defense, but I just don't think it moves the needle enough for this team to be competitive. And yeah, they gave up a lot to do it. Like they were so quick to spend those damn picks that they got from dealing Parsons. Like it really blows my mind like how Jerry just can't just be fine not being in a freaking headline for a few months. Like he's just got to do something.
Yeah. I will say I value Quentin Williams really, really highly myself. I think
I do
he is an
too. He's
excellent, excellent
top
player.
3 D
Yeah.
tackle, and I don't think you could argue different. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's fair. A bit of a better trade for the Cowboys, though, is bringing in Logan Wilson. I think that was a
Yeah.
much better value trade for them. He wanted out of the Bengals. They had no leverage there. They get him for a sixth or a seventh round pick. I can't quite remember right now,
I think
but
it
it
was a
wasn't
6,
too
but yeah,
yeah,
not
wasn't too
bad.
expensive there. So not bad. Not bad. I don't think it changes the trajectory of the Cowboys season, though, especially if they do not get back to the best offense in the NFL like they were for a while. And I'm not sure that they do, honestly. But we'll see. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. But with that, let's hour and a half into this episode here. So before we even get to the picks, appreciate you all for listening. A lot of
Yeah.
rambling tonight, but it's been fun. So let's get to the picks here. The Thursday night game. We have the Raiders traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos. and I have the Broncos here. The divisional game, so it can get weird. That's just kind of how it is. But this Broncos team is so I, I don't know if good's the right word, seriously, but they're winning games. They are winning games. Seriously. They're ridiculous. 7-2 right now. Absurd.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going Broncos too. It is divisional, like you said, could get a little squirrely, but yeah, they're winning games. Like I said, the defense coming back. I don't think the Raiders offense is going to be able to do enough, and Broncos offense shouldn't struggle that much either.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. And then we got the Falcons taking on the Colts in Indianapolis, and motherfucker, I don't know, man. This could be a game where the Falcons decide
Yeah,
to really show up against a top team, seriously. But conventional wisdom tells me Indianapolis Colts, a bounce back game after their loss to the Steelers last week.
Yeah. Yeah, you said it, and that's why I picked Colts too, just for the simple fact that this team has played so good this year that they strike me as a team that ain't about to lose two in a row, especially to a Falcons team that could very well give Bijan the ball two times and suck.
Yeah, we'll get to see the debut of Sauce Gardner. I am excited about
Yeah.
that.
See what he does on Drake London. We'll see. London played great last week, so
He did indeed. He did indeed. Then we got the Giants traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears, and I don't love this because it's not great for the Lions. But Lions, this Bears team is playing pretty well right now, sitting at 5-3, same as the Lions, and I've got the Bears winning this one.
yeah, I got the Bears too, but this one scares me. Like I'm still just so hesitant to go Bears week after week. And the Giants defense pretty good. We know the D line's phenomenal, and that is what scared me a bit because I feel like Caleb still is not doing very good under pressure uh, in his year and a half sample size. But yeah, so I think that's a concern. But I'm still going Bears. They're just the better team, and they're at home. Hey, hey.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Then we've got the Bills traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Took me about a millisecond to make this pick here, Bills.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, when I was writing, Bills continued the S into a circle around their name, because yeah, there's no way. Division or not, I don't give a shit. The Bills are taking it.
Then we've got the Ravens traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, and these are the games that the Ravens need to win if they want to make a real run at it, given the situation that they're in. And I think getting healthier with each coming week, I think they will. I think Lamar's gonna win them this game. I got Ravens.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about it. If it's not incredibly obvious, I'm buying into this Ravens, comeback from assery to make it a splash or putting up a damn good fight for it. So yeah, I'm going Ravens here too.
Yeah. All right. Then we've got game of the week material right
It's a
here.
heater.
The Browns traveling to New York, New Jersey, I should say. I'm always on that, but not tonight, I guess. The New Jersey to take on the Jets. And this was a very tough pick. A very, very tough pick. I ended up going Browns just because Jets clearly want to lose with the moves that they made. However, I don't I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like this is pretty common with, teams across all the major sports in America. Their ownership and their GM make the decision they want to sell, and it, kind of lights a temporary fire under those guys to play a little bit better. And that feeling had me wanting to go Jets. So I will not be surprised if the Jets win this game, especially at home. But I went Browns here.
That very same feeling is what had me pick the Jets, and I did. I mean, you said it very well. Change something. Excuse me. I don't know what's attacking me. Um, but yeah, losing anybody within an organization can really spark a team. So I got Jets here.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I wouldn't be surprised if I drop one here. Can you pull it together over there? Take a sip
I
of
need some water.
water.
I got it.
Yeah, exactly. There we
I don't know
go.
what
That's
it
what we
is. It's
need.
probably freaking straight dust down the pipe. I'm working in a dungeon here.
That's true. That's true. But all right, then we've got this is a good game here. The Patriots traveling to Tampa to take on the Buccaneers here. And I went Buccaneers. I think they pull this out in a close one.
Yeah, I went Bucks too, coming off the bye. I That's really what gave him the nod for me. The Pats have been playing so damn well. I would not be shocked if this goes the other way, but I'm going Bucks.
That's fair. Then we've got the Saints traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers. And this probably would have been one that I thought at the beginning of the year would have been a really, really tough choice for me. But the way this Panthers team is playing, particularly their defense, like you mentioned earlier, and with the direction that the Saints are going, which is the wrong direction, um, I got the Panthers all day at home.
Yeah. Yeah, it became a no-brainer, and I agree. I went Panthers, and yeah, a team that's been playing really well at home too. But yeah, just the defense alone should be able to get them the win.
Yep, I agree. Then we've got the Jags taking on the Texans here in Houston. And if CJ Stroud is playing, I think I go Texans here based on what I've seen out of both of these teams as of late. The Texans have been better than they were at the beginning of this year. But Davis Mills? No thanks. I got the Jags.
Yeah, I don't, we're like syncing up way too much doing this pod, man. So those were my exact thoughts. Like once I knew Stroud was out, I went Jags, but I would have definitely went Texans. The defense has been playing phenomenal lately, and Stroud's just kind of doing just enough to at least keep him in it. But I think he'd do enough to get him the win here. But yeah, with him out, I gotta go Jags.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Love to be nice and synced.
Yeah,
Um
not
then we
on
got
game picks.
I know, especially for me right now. I can't be having that
Yeah,
shit.
down
Um,
10 now, brother man.
I know. Tell me about it. It's been tough out here. What can I say? Um, which reminds me actually, before we move on to this next game here, I forgot my typical little spiel before we started. Last week I go 9-5, Kris goes 10-4. I'm at 83 and 52 on the year. Kris at 93 and 42. Kris with a clean sweep of the ESPN experts at 11-0. I'm pretty sure that he's got at least a 3-game lead on the next closest analyst, so that's pretty impressive. The best ESPN expert last week went 9-5, so Kris beat that by one, and I actually matched that. And I did pick up a little bit of ground. I'm only 3-8 now. I was 2-9 last week, and I'm within. I think I'm pretty close to getting up to above the majority there. So I think this is becoming a situation where Kris, you're just cooking, my guy, and that's just how it be. So good for
Let
you.
him cook. Let him
Yeah.
cook.
100%. Back to the regularly scheduled program. We got 5 games left here. Next up on the docket is the Cardinals traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks here. And Cardinals good win against the Cowboys, figured out a bit of their fourth quarter problems. But I said it earlier, the Seahawks team is just playing so well right now. I mean, both sides of the ball. Sam Darnold's cooking. Jackson Smith and Jigba's cooking. The whole day defense is playing really well. So I got the Seahawks here at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I went Seahawks too. It's so tough to honestly pick against them against anybody right now. I knew the defense was going to be solid or legit, but the way this offense is playing, it's truly special. And yeah, they're both doing it in unison all together. This team is terrifying. But yeah, I'm going them over the Cards for sure.
Yeah. So out of these last 4 games, I think 3 of them were pretty difficult for me, to be honest here. One
I
of
would
them's coming
agree.
up next. We've got Rams traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers here. And oh, this one was so tough because my gut initially was just saying 49ers at home, but the Rams already dropped game 1 of this series earlier in the year in a game that they almost certainly should have won. Kyron Williams didn't fumble the ball at the half-yard line. They do
Right.
win that. So, this was really tough, but at the end, I actually did go 49ers here to complete the sweep.
I went Rams. I think they are going to get revenge here. Niners still just banged up. Not I mean, the record's nice. They're winning decent games. They're winning games against decent opponents, but I still just don't see it. Like I don't think their roster is complete, especially when you compare it to the Rams. The Rams have a really, really good team, and I love their defense too. Really young and full of spark, full of life. So yeah, I'm going Rams. I don't think they get swept this year.
Yeah, I mean that's totally fair. I could definitely see it happening. It was a tough one here. This next game here was the easy out of the remaining games here. We got the Lions traveling to Washington to take on the Commanders, and if Jaden Daniels is under center, maybe it's a different bit conversation here. And Mariota's been honestly pretty serviceable with his starts, but I think the Lions are really going to want to send a message after the
Revenge.
playoff game last year, which was terrible. This Lions team played terrible. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I think Lions dominate this game, especially after a
Yeah,
loss last week, too.
yeah. Like they need any more reasons to go out and win a game. I agree. I think it's going to be nasty too. I see like a 20-point plus win here, just real disgusting. But yeah, the Lions should totally take it.
Hundo P. Then we've got two toughies here. We've got the Steelers traveling to LA to take on the Chargers. And Steelers just beat what were the best team in the NFL based on form last week. They to beat the Colts. And then you got the Chargers here who are, kind of banged up. Still kind of banged up. They're getting healthier, but they're still kind of banged up. So conventional wisdom said Steelers. Gut said Chargers. I went Chargers.
It's always wise to listen to the gut. And you're so right. I mean, I've been riding the Steelers all year in these games they should win, and I didn't here. I went Chargers, but you're totally right. They're still banged up. Steelers just with a really good, impressive win. Steelers offense been pretty consistent all year round at, being good. Nothing too crazy, but good. And their defense with a wonderful performance last week. Maybe it sparks something. Maybe the Steelers are, becoming a complete squad. And I go and pick the Chargers.
You fucker. I really thought that was one that was going to be different.
I know. And I did, believe me, I did have Steelers originally. It's one of my flippies, so
Damn it. Damn
I'm
it. That
sure
felt
I'm po-
terrible.
I'm positive that the Steelers are going to win now because I flipped. But
Because at this point, I was actually thinking about this week. Is like, I I would love to catch up to you, but that's becoming very, very tough. So I also want to be reasonable with my picks because at the end of the day, if both of us beat the majority of the ESPN experts, I'll take that as a win as
oh yeah.
well. So I gotta rationalize between like, do I really go for it or do I just, stay in my lane, keep doing pretty well, and if it happens, it happens. So it's something I've been thinking about, just throwing out there
Yeah.
for us there. You got
Oh
any
yeah. I
thoughts
mean
to our listeners? Please let me know in the comments on which
any
route I should take.
strategies. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Do I really gun for Kris or
Yeah.
do I just
Honestly, the Steelers have been a roller coaster team, though. Like you go
they
back
have?
before even last week, like when I picked them to beat the Colts, we were just shitting on them 10 minutes before that because of how they played the last 2 weeks before that. Like they're a bit of a roller coaster. I think the Chargers, like you said, getting a little more healthy, at home, night game. I just like it for them. I think they come out on top.
Yeah. All right. This one I'm 100% confident we will have different. Eagles
You picked a
going to Green
rival?
Bay to go on, take on the Packers in Green Bay at Lambeau, and I went Packers here. I've said it in many weeks in the past. Eagles very talented team, one of the best rosters in the NFL. No doubting that. And they made a lot of moves at this trade deadline. I will let you expand on those when I pass it off to you. They, made a lot of good moves in my opinion. But this Packers team is going to be pissed after a loss to the Panthers. This defense is really, really good. And back to my point about the Eagles, what I've said many times on the pod here is I have yet to be, maybe once or twice convinced that this offense is actually really good. I've seen maybe two like really good performances out of them. And whatever we think about this, Packers offense, their defense is quite excellent. That's true. So I think the Packers pull this one out in a close win, maybe even like last second field goal type situation.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely think this one will be close. But before I get into the game, I will go over the picks, or the trades, I should say. But yeah, we get Jair Alexander, which is a bit of a revenge game off rip. I don't know how ready he'll be, but it's no secret the Eagles needed a outside corner to help Quinyon Mitchell. There were a lot of rumors. We also picked up Michael Carter from the Jets, who is primarily a nickel corner working in the slot. Um, there were rumors that DeJean was going to bounce outside for that, and I really don't want to do that. DeJean is a phenomenal nickel corner. He's almost like having a linebacker in there. It's almost like you're running a 4-3 with how good of a tackler he is, and the coverage is not taking a dip off either. So I would hate to move him to the outside. Getting Alexander opens that door back up to allow DeJean to stay in his natural home where he's one of the best at that position. You never want to take a guy out when he's like top 3 at his position. So really glad we made moves to kind of give us options there. But Alexander, a complete question mark. We talked about the Ravens, all the injuries they've had. He still never played and he was healthy. It was did not play coach's decision. So very alarming. Nobody really knows what we're going to get here, but if it works out, great. We did not give up much for him at all. And we didn't give up too much for Carter either, but it's just good we have options at cornerback. But then the bigger one is we bring in Jalen Phillips from Miami. We give up a third to do so. D end, he's phenomenal. I mean, his stats are great. I mean, his rush percentage is, I think it's top 15 in the league. Like it's legit edge rush threat. And we're getting Brandon Graham back. He'll be able to play in this one. Yeah, Eagles are getting a lot of pieces back, but a lot of them are new and they're gonna have to adapt. I don't think they're gonna help immediately. I mean, we were coming off the bye week this week, which definitely does help. And also, like specifically about Phillips, learning defensive end and a defensive scheme isn't very difficult compared to some
Go
of the
get the
other
quarterback.
positions. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think he'll be fine. And another shout out I do want to say about him, he is very good against the run too. He's not just a rusher because Eagles have had that in the past where you just got a guy hawking the QB and the rushing lanes that creates can cause problems. But he's a complete player. Played with Fangio and Fangio was with the Dolphins. Had his best season until he got hurt under Fangio. So I'm very optimistic about this one. Alexander, not so much. Got to kind of see what we get, but it could be an awesome move. So I'm just hopeful as far as that goes. Anyway, let's get into this matchup against the Packers. I do have the Eagles, but this one could totally go either way. I think both squads are a bit of that roller coaster I've been talking about. I mean, a lot of up, down, up, down. I mean, they've both predominantly been good at winning, all said and done, but there's certainly moments of looking bad, good, great, and shit for both teams. So your guess is as good as mine. Certainly not going to fight you on your Packers pick here. Home, Lambeau Field, Monday night. I mean, sure, they could totally win this game. But all said and done, I've said it a lot. You've agreed with it a lot. Eagles just have a fucking awesome roster, dude. So it's really tough to pick. You factor that in with my bias, and we're all but cooked. So yeah, I'm going Birds.
Cherish these next couple sentences that come out of my mouth because they won't many times in my lifetime here. But given the current situation, I want the Eagles to win this game.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yep.
Yeah,
I won't be like pissed if they lose, but I want them to win.
you'll definitely be a little pissed. Come on.
I actually will
You
because I have
got
so
you,
much confidence that we'll be better than the Packers. I'm seriously, I really, I'm not worried about that. I'm not. Um,
okay.
okay.
I don't think you should necessarily be worried. You're in the same boat I'm just saying about the Eagles. I mean, your roster is light years above them. Like you said, your Wisco people like to say they're one and the same, but Yeah, they're not. They're a step behind the Birds and Lions for sure. But yeah, like I said, just two roller coaster teams, and even the Lions. I mean, throw them in too. They're a freaking roller coaster team at this point. A lot of that
You're telling
happening
me.
this year.
I
There's
know.
like no freaking consistency in the NFL this year. It's crazy.
The
This is
Colts were
why.
like the one consistent team, and then
Yeah,
they roller coastered
right.
last week, so they decided
Yeah.
to hop on the tracks.
Yeah, and it was bizarre that they weren't a roller coaster team because I mean nobody saw this coming. But yeah, love it. NFL is as good as ever. I just freaking love it.
It is, and that's why we can sit here on a Thursday night at midnight, my time, 1 a.m. your time, and talk for an hour and 45 minutes about NFL football here. We just love it, and all of you that listen, we really hope you do too. And that brings us to the end of another Palm City Chucks episode here. As always, we appreciate and love you all that listen in. Please like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. Let us know what you want us to be talking about. Are we crazy? Yeah, we know that already. You don't need to tell us, but we'll listen to it anyways. But we'll be back with you next week.
Later, PCC.